Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be showing you my August 2021 coloring book and supply haul. And if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, I thought for this video, I would do it backwards on how I usually do it. We're going to start with the books and then we're going to end with the supplies because there's one that I actually picked up that I used a little earlier today and I'm curious about. So I didn't want to use the rest of them without you guys. I'm normally not like that, but I don't know that I see a lot of people using them. So yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. Now, these three here, I had actually purchased in July, like the last week of July, as part of the rest of my birthday celebration month to myself. So they came in August and that's why they're included in this haul. I did pre-order the new Rita Berman one. I saw some flip throughs from Ellie of Pony Pony Stuff, I believe. And I really want it in my hands. I need it in my life. I have the summer one, but there are some of the pages in the summer one I'm not a huge fan of. Maybe like 30 or 40% of it. With the new one, the travel one, I probably would, and I'd have to look through it myself, but there's probably less than 10% of it that I don't like. So yeah, I can't wait for that, but I don't think that's going to get here in this month. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just go ahead and do it because I don't foresee getting anything else. But let me clear this up. We'll go one by one and we'll get started. So this can barely fit on my desk. I knew it was big. I didn't think it was that big. So just for context, if you have any of the Coloring Heaven, it's probably a good 3 inches, maybe 2.5 inches taller, and then about an inch wider. And then when you open it up, it actually lays relatively flat. The paper is thinner than I thought. I had purchased this, I believe, from Amazon, but it's actually still pretty good paper. I'll show you in just a bit the picture that I'm working on right now. Now, before I flip there, just be prepared, okay? Just be prepared. And it's this one right here. Now I'm testing some different mediums. I will be doing a how I color on one of these pages in the next few weeks, but I wanted to finish this one up first. The way that I plan to approach that video series is I want to have something for you guys to look at so that you guys know how I've approached some of the things, and then we'll do it together on camera. This is Crayola Super Tips. This here is Derwent Inktense, and then I got a little bit of pencil work. Just from my hand perspective, I definitely like either the Crayola or the Derwent Inktense, but I did this in a very specific way, and again, when I do the video, I will talk to you guys about that. Now, in the back, it has a bunch of these little things right here. I don't know that I'm ever going to color them. There's also characters in here, like these cars. I think this is Zootopia. I've never seen that cartoon. But yeah, some of the images, I don't know that I'll ever color. Winnie the Pooh, I think he's kind of cute, so I would do. But I did take Danny Button's advice, and I did not start off with my favorite picture. Probably one of the Mulans is my favorite. And then this was just sort of an accident. I started with these colors right here, and I'm like, oh, that's a little bright. Let me see if I could tone that down. I don't know that I did a really good job of toning things down, but it was a lot of fun to do. Again, I'll be doing a video on that in the next few weeks, hopefully. But that is Vitrales. This is the Spanish version, and this is from however, Heroes. And I believe, yes, I got this from Amazon. This one is The Moonlit Veil by Annie Steg Gerard. I did pick up the other book, The Wildwood Soiree. Now this one, the images are absolutely fantastic. They are just so beautiful. Now, the problem that I have discovered with this book is I assumed the paper would be the same, and I don't think the paper is. Now, let me get the other one. Now, I've done a little bit on this cover, and I'm assuming that the paper throughout the rest of the book is the same as this paper here. And this, I find, takes pencils really well. I am testing different pencils, and I'll probably do more testing as I go in the book. But this is all portraits, but of various animals. I love it. It's so whimsical. It's so adorable. Now this one, the images kind of are very whimsical and yet kind of Art Nouveau, but there seems to be a slickness to this paper. Now let me show you what I've started. This right here is the page that I started. These are my Luminance pencils by Caran d'Ache. I have the blender here. Yeah, this is the one I broke the other time. And they just don't want to lay down nicely. I will have to test some other pencils, but again, I just assumed the paper would be exactly the same. Now you can, I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but there is definitely a sheen, and it might be because the way that they've coated the paper to get that jet black ink. But then the greenery is done in tombos. There's a little bit of ghosting on the back here, actually some bleed through as well, but this is kind of a throwaway page. Sort of. I think all of these images, yeah, are different, but I mean, for the cost of the book, I kind of wanted to color everything. But if my colored pencils are not going to work well in this book, then I may just do a water-based marker, because this isn't even using any alcohol markers. I might sacrifice a page in the back in order to try the alcohol markers and see how that works. Because again, I kind of like these little images. I would only color the little image, and honestly, there's no reason why I can't color that little image. But if I do use alcohol markers, it definitely will come through. Now, I love the artwork in here. It's just the paper. It's not bad paper. It's not thin paper. It's definitely coated with something that I was not anticipating, because I just assumed the paper would be the same. But this is The Moonlit Veil by Annie Stegg Gerard. This is the Lady Spring. I purchased it from Grazia Salvo's Etsy shop. I don't know that any of the other ladies here are also selling it. I got it from her, and I really have been enjoying this. I've already showed this in the How I Color the first one, and so I've done this page here, and this actually has all of the different pencils I had at the time, and then this is the one I did with the How I Color. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the skin definitely seems the same from the picture I just showed you to here, where you can see a lot of the pencil work. To me, the difference is those are Luminance pencils and this is Crayola. I would think that they would lay down better, and they're not. And so I'm thinking it's the quality of the paper. I love how she came out, and she was a lot of fun, and I hope to work more in this. But this is Lady Spring by, well, all of those artists that I purchased from Grazia's shop. And the last one I got, I was in a Walmart yesterday running some errands. I now go to the coloring book section. I saw this, I walked around the store because there was other things I knew I needed to get. And then I decided that I was going to get this. And I decided I was going to get this, not so much because I'm drawn to the artwork, although some of the pages is really pretty, but starting September through about February. I know a bunch of you guys are going to start doing the autumnal and the fall, the pumpkin spice latte, the winter, all of those things. And I live in Hawaii. And so while you guys are doing all the winter and fall pages, which I might do a few in my own way, I'm also going to be showing some of these Coloring Nature in Hawaii by Kelly Moniz, because I live where you vacation. And we have two colors here. We have green and we have super green. 5 points to you if you know where that movie's from. And I did do a page in here. Yes, I just got it yesterday. Olga Rani's weekly prompt for this week is sun. And so I decided to do this one. One, because I like using the books that I have. And two, I wanted to test all of the different pencils. And so this key right here is actually telling me what I used on what sections. I had a lot of fun with this, although it is a lot of coloring in probably about 3 hours. And so my hands do hurt a little bit. This is actually the only coloring that I have done this weekend. It was a long weekend for me, but I was playing Animal Crossing with my friend Andy on Friday, and I play with my console like this, and my thumbs cramped up so badly I couldn't move them for a while, so we had to stop playing. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna rest up. I didn't do any coloring yesterday, and this is the only coloring that I did today. And for me, I'm not testing so much the colors or even the pigment, but how they feel on the page. I'll talk about this a little bit more at the end of the month when I do my completed pages. But this is a really interesting coloring book. So like this page will probably never be colored. You're like, what is that? That's a centipede, guys. There's another one in here. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, why though? This one right here, that's a cockroach. Now you're wondering, oh, that looks kind of moth-like. No, guys. That's a B-52. When it gets really humid in Hawaii sometimes, especially during the summer months, the really big cockroaches, like the 2-3 inchers, they can fly. Yeah. This may look beautiful to you. I kind of want to rip the page out because it's so gross to me. And I love the tapa aspect of that. This is very reminiscent to me of tattoo art. But this is a page, it doesn't intimidate me, guys. It grosses me out. Do you see the hair on the legs? That's a real thing. It's so gross. Why, Kelly? Why? These fish pages, I don't know. It would be interesting, I guess, to try them out. The bird pages, there are definitely some pages in here that I love. This one here is actually the shape of Oahu, and our not our state, but our island flower is Ilima. This is Molokai. The island flower is kukui blossom. And it's so interesting. So yeah, when you guys are all up in your winter fields and the snow and the sweater weather, I'm going to be coloring one of these. And I'm just going to remind you that, yeah, I live where you vacation. This is probably my favorite page of the book, the ipu. It's a hollowed out gourd. I think it's dried out. And then it doesn't look like this usually, but during hula events, the kumus, which are the instructors, the teachers, this makes a really interesting sound. And this is how they create the percussion element of when they're doing the kahiko style, which is more... The Awana style is what you would normally see in Waikiki, where it's the graceful swing. The Kahiko style is definitely more adversarial in nature. If you ever watch Merry Monarch, it's the one on the first night after they do the single competition. The second night is more of the swaying, long mu'umu'us. Yeah. But this is my favorite picture in here. Anyway, this is Coloring Nature in Hawaii by Kelly Moniz. I did look. This is available on Amazon if you are interested, and I will link it below. Now, I don't remember whose channel I had seen this on, but they had said that Danny Buttons had gotten this and she loved it. And I have been loving using my Sharpies, and so I decided to get this. And this is basically the shuttle art version of Sharpies. And I do enjoy the color range in here. This also came with it. And I love this little flap action. Oh, I didn't even know that was in there. And so I'm actually going to be using my Sharpies up first. I'll have this in reserve, although if I do want to do any like skin tone, I think I might have a little bit more options here, although not really. I'd have to test out some of these colors here to see if they could be a passable skin tone. Like a Sharpie, it is permanent ink. It kind of looks like a Sharpie. There's only one side to it. It does click on and off very nicely, and it posts really well, so you get that extended pen. There is no color, no number, no anything. And while that is unfortunate, it doesn't really change things. I won't number them. I won't do my own system. I'll deal as I'm coloring with them. But I did get this, so I did want to show you guys. And the last thing I got were these. Now, I saw this on Target. I did the drive up yesterday as well. So for my Target order, I just ordered everything online and just picked it up. For my Walmart, I actually went in. The Walmart ordering online is just, it's junk. But the Target one is spot on. And I saw this was $5 from Mondolama. I do have those alcohol markers, and I picked these up specifically because these are skin tones. You guys know I love me some skin tones, and I did use one, like I said, but I wanted to take all of these out because I was quite surprised on how that one worked. Now I will be putting these in one of my pencil cases. I'm not sure which. I do like the color range. This is the one that I've used right here. And they actually have names on them. Now it's going to be hard to see because it's in a silver metallic, but this is called Wren. And they do, I mean, just looking at the barrels, they do tend to look very orange, but I think doable. But let me grab a coloring book and show you. Okay, I grabbed Joanna Basford's World of Flowers. I don't know why, but this is generally one of my first go-to tester books. It's not even like I gravitate towards Joanna Basford's work all the time. I try to spread my time evenly. Whenever I get new pencils, I usually come here first. So we're going to do it in here. But what I found on that Hawaiian book that I just showed you is this laid down really, really nicely. Now, do not gasp in horror, but I have not sharpened these. They already came sharpened. So I'm going to see if color goes down without sharpening. Not really. It did on the other one, but not on this one. So I just sharpened it, and I'll see if it lays down better. Now, that's probably not a good one to show you guys. And I know it's botanicals in this bug, but I'm sure the bug doesn't mind. So let's go for something darker. So this is called Acacia, which is a really pretty color. And I'm gonna go by way of a pass with it unsharpened. Again, it comes pre-sharpened, but as you may know, there's sometimes a coating on it so that it doesn't actually perform like it usually would. So that's without sharpening. And this is with sharpening. Now what surprised me about, and again, I only used the one pencil, but what surprised me is because I was testing all of my other pencils at the same time, it had kind of the feeling, at least on that other paper, of like a polychromos or even the luminance. The luminance buffed out really nice with that blender tool thing. But the Faber-Castell, the polychromos, it felt creamy and yet a little scratchy. Now it isn't the same paper, so that could be it because Joanna Basford paper is rather smooth. But I was surprised because I just expected these to feel like Crayola, and they don't. They definitely feel better than a Crayola to me. Not as smooth. And again, I'm not comparing apples to apples because the Prismas in here are good, but they're not as good as I feel it was in that Hawaiian book. I thought that they worked phenomenally in that book I just showed you. I'd say these would be equivalent to maybe the Amazon Basics, the Polys by way of the feel, certainly not by way of the pigment. The pigment is what you'd expect from a budget pencil, but from the feeling of it and the amount of pigment, they're definitely better to me than a Crayola. So that was the darkest pencil there. And let's do brown leaves because why not? See, and that one feels good, that I don't feel that I need to sharpen it, although it does have a blunt point. It felt so nice in the other book that I had that I'm almost tempted to get a bigger set. I don't need another set of pencils, so it's kind of ridiculous, but I'm tempted to get them because I like how they feel. All right, let's see if they layer and then we'll call it a day. Oh, that might not be the best. Let's layer some of this. Oh, see, that's not bad. It still has some of the color on. I know some of you are horrified. And I don't like that as much. It does make the edges a little smoother, but you certainly can put color on top of this. I think it'd actually be cool if all of these are in these kind of colors here, even though they're very floral in nature. Anyway, guys, I thought this was so interesting. Like I said, the one that I used in that other one, I didn't sharpen. I just used right off the bat, and I loved how it felt. It ranked up probably in the top 5 of the 11 different pencils I had, to include Holbein, Polychromos, and Luminance. And again, it wasn't about the color. It was about how they felt going across the page. And I know that that can change from different book to different book that I want to do pencil work in. So I actually plan to do that for all of the pencil workbooks that I have. But yeah, I wanted to show you those just because I haven't seen these in the community, and I am really tempted about getting more of them. Less because I want to try to scoop something or get you guys to buy stuff, but it's more about, it's interesting to me how they felt. And it could be something part of my rotation. And while I don't know that these colors are necessarily the greatest for skin tone, I will need to work in some of my books and see how I feel. I do like that they are definitely more pigmented than the Crayola skin tones. And that's what I seem to be favoring, just because I like that you don't necessarily have to layer a bunch of colors to get a realistic skin tone. You can do the different tones that they have to just kind of build up the saturation. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. All right, guys, well, it's a very small haul. I don't know that I'll be doing many hauls. I did order 2 new books. I'm waiting on the Rita Berman, and then in October, I'm waiting on the Mythographic. But as of right now, that's it for the future for me, for my hauls. We shall see. You might see more of these in the future. That's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.